Here's the midday news. First, the top stories. Amosu repeats his support for Ogun West in the 2019 governorship race. Senate President says it's too early to begin discussions on 2019 polls. Relief in Ekiti as marketers Fayose reach a deal on reopening of filling stations. Presidency asks Nigerians to beware of fake news in circulation. On the foreign scene, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, three others cut links with Qatar for backing terrorists. And British police say they identified terrorists who attacked London. Good afternoon, I am Chienye Egwuonwu, bringing you the details of the news shortly. Now the news in detail. Governor Ibikunle Amosu of Ogun State says the major stakeholders in the state will determine who succeeds him in office on May 29, 2019. The major stakeholders, including traditional rulers and traders, according to Governor, will play a major role in the picking of the candidate who will succeed him. Amosu, who stated this at the Ramadan Iftar with members of the National Assembly from the state and Ogun State House of Assembly at the Government House at Belkuta, however, repeats his preference for such candidates to come from the Ogun West Senatorial District. The governor promises his support for any governorship candidate from the Ogun West during the poll. Amosu, a few days ago, first publicly announced his choice of the senatorial district that he wants to produce the next Ogun State governor. While declaring support for candidates from the Ogun West, Amosu says he will oppose those from Ogun Central and be indifferent to anyone from Ogun East. Ogun State government is shopping for funds to address the challenges of erosion across the state following the ongoing heavy rainfall. Nigeria Meteorological Agency had earlier named Ogun State as one of the states that will experience heavy rainfall and massive flooding during this year's rainy season. Environment Commissioner Bolaji Oyeleye, a media chat to mark the 2017 World Environment Day in Abeokuta, says the state government is targeting the Ecological Fund in the presidency for the critical funding to finance the erosion control projects. The commissioner explains that the state government took the decision following the discovery that some parts of the state is already affected by erosion. Oyeleye gave the instance of a secondary school student who died in a flood during a recent heavy rainfall in the Ijebu axis of the state. As part of measures to save the environment from erosion, the commissioner also says the state government will soon embark on massive planting of trees in the parks and at road junctions. Also speaking, Professor Tony Arowolo, who is a former Deputy Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, has asked the state government to stop politicizing the waste management in the state. The professor asked the state government to begin sanctioning residents who engage in indiscriminate dumping of refuse and the pollution of water. He also asks the state government to construct public toilets to discourage open defecation in the state.
Continue to sensitize public. There is a lot of potential. Government alone cannot do it. We have very.
The Senate President, Bukola Saraki, has cautioned 7 political office holders against opening their campaign for the 2019 polls. Saraki says it's still too early for any of them to begin discussions on the 2019 polls. The Senate President, who made the call in Ilori while speaking with newsmen in the Kwara State capital, says the focus of 7 political office holders should now be on how to fulfill all the 2015 polls campaign promises. Discussing the 2019 polls now, according to him, was insensitive because most of the 2015 polls campaign promises were yet to be fulfilled. All Progressives Congress (APC) has cleared all the 23 local government chairmanship seats in the Benue State local government polls on Saturday. The party won all the councillorship positions with some of the candidates returned unopposed. Chairman of Benue State Independent Electoral Commission, John Suwa, who declared the results in Makadi, however says the details of votes scored by the candidates were not yet ready. Suwa said that 8 political parties participated in the exercise and listed them to include Accord Party, APC, PDP, SDP, ACB, PPP, LP and the NNPP party. Residents of Ekiti State have heaved a sigh of relief following the decision of petrol product marketers to end their 3-week boycotts of the state and reopen filling stations. The marketers ended their strike following a meeting brokered by Governor Ralph Aregbesola between Governor Ayodele Fayose and the marketers, oil workers and petrol tanker drivers at the Osun State Government House in Osogbo. An agreement signed by Governor Fayose and the marketers, supervised by Governor Aregbesola, includes setting up of an ad hoc committee to determine conditions and guidelines for establishing filling stations in the state. Also, Ekiti State government agreed to reverse the revocation of the certificate of occupancy on land on which filling stations are constructed in the state, except those that are built on canals and waterways. The state government also agreed to stop further demolition of filling stations, while the marketers will immediately reopen the filling stations to begin sale of petrol. The presidency has expressed concern over the growing wide circulation of fake news items. Information and Culture Minister Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who expressed concern in a statement, accuses those behind the fake news of plotting to destabilize the polity and cause disunity among the country's various ethnic and religious groups. He urges Nigerians to be extra vigilant in view of the worsening cases of fake news that are being peddled by unscrupulous persons. Over the weekend alone, the minister notes that several major cases of fake news were recorded, each of them capable of causing panic, triggering chaos, or setting one group against the order. He said that a gory video of a blast that occurred many years ago was being circulated along with the false news of a bomb blast in Abuja, while news of a non-existent bomb blast in Lagos was also widely circulated. You are still listening to the Midday News on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business and sports news. Please do stay with us. Now on the foreign scene, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates and Yemen have cut diplomatic ties with Qatar, accusing it of destabilizing the region. They say Qatar backs militant groups, including the so-called Islamic State and Al-Qaeda, which Qatar has denied. The three Gulf countries have given Qatari nationals just 2 weeks to leave their territory. The Saudi state news agency said Riyadh had closed its borders, severing land, sea and air contacts with the tiny peninsula of Qatar. Qatar called the move unjustified with no basis in fact, and the unprecedented move is being seen as a significant split between powerful Gulf countries who are also close U.S. allies. The Saudi statement accused Qatar of collaborating with Iranian-backed militias. Police investigating Saturday night terror attack in London say they know the identity of the 3 attackers who killed 7 people and injured 48. The Met Police said their names will be released as soon as operationally possible, as officers work to establish if they were part of a wider network. They were shot by police after driving into pedestrians on London Bridge and stabbing people in Borough Market. Officers searched 2 addresses in East London on Monday morning. Police said a number of people had been detained following the raids in Newham and Barking. It comes after 12 people were arrested in Barking on Sunday following raids at a flat believed to be the home of one of the attackers, and the so-called Islamic State group has claimed responsibility for the attack. Next is the business news. Nigeria's daily crude oil export is to hit 1.75 million barrels this month following the resumption of loading on the Forcados export pipeline in Delta State after repairs. The last time Nigeria's crude oil export reached such level was March 2016, before militant attacks crippled the Forcados export pipeline. The major export pipeline operated by Royal Dutch Shell had been shut down since February 2016 after the militant attacks. The pipeline, which had been undergoing repairs since then, was reopened weeks late in 2016, but shut down again after fresh attack on it by the militants. With the final repair and stoppage of attacks, the Forcados pipeline is programmed to load 197,000 barrels daily for export anytime from now. Finally, sports news. MFM FC ended FC Ifanyoba's unbeaten run after they emerged 1-0 victors at the Agege Stadium. MFM carried the day, thus registering a second clean sheet in the last 3 Nigeria Professional Football League matches, and the win moves MFM up to second place, having garnered 47 points, while the Anambra Warriors is fourth with 34 points from 22 matches so far. In Calabar, a second-half goal from Andrew Abalogo saw Enyimba Pip Plateau United 1-0 at the UJS Suene Stadium. Also, Gombe United suffered a 2-0 defeat against Remo Stars at the Gateway Stadium in Abeokuta. The result ended the Sky Blue Stars' prayer run of 5 consecutive defeats. First-half goals from Oche Salefu and Awaze Ekene took Fatayo Shaw's boys to 22 points, while Manu Garba's side still has 26 points from 22 games. Also, goals from Mohamed and O.C. Martins were enough to give ABS a vital 2-1 victory over Niger Tornadoes. In Bauchi, Wiki Tourists returned to winning ways after they edged El Kanemi Warriors 2-1 at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium. Enugu Rangers in Enugu scored a 1-1 draw against Nasarawa United in a closed-door match at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, while Katsina United recorded a 1-0 win over Abia Warriors. While in Ibadan, the Shooting Stars at home gave their fans something to cheer with a 1-0 win over Sunshine Stars at the Lakers Salami Stadium, while an Nyima Mwangama brace helped the Kano Pillars to a 2-1 win over Lubi Stars at the Sonny Abacha Stadium. That was the midday news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. Amoson repeated his support for Ogun West in the 2019 governorship race. Senate President said it is too early to begin discussions on 2019 polls. Relief in Ekiti as marketers Fayoshe reached a deal on reopening of filling stations. Presidency asked Nigerians to beware of fake news in circulation. On the foreign scene, we reported that Saudi Arabia, Egypt, 3 others had links with Qatar for backing terrorists. And British police said they identified terrorists who attacked London. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you very much for listening. I am Chienye Egwuonwu. Good afternoon.